All right, my name is Russ McNabb with the McNabb's team and Royal LePage Elite West. We're here with the boys again, and we're going to discuss a few things. A couple things on our list are strata properties.
What we like to look for and what we see to make sure our clients are getting good buildings.
What else are we talking about?
Richmond versus Mission.
Oh, Richmond.
Right?
That's a hot topic.
Also, land ownership as well. We got some people that are looking in North Vancouver and Tsawwassen and want to talk about the lease lands.
Yep.
And also which areas we think might get the biggest equity gains over the next 5 years due to supply and demand, and also official community plans. And we talked about wood frame versus concrete buildings, what we think about those two. And then also we want to wrap up the podcast by letting people know what we're seeing in the real estate market, where we're seeing it pick up, and what people can expect over the next couple months.
Yeah. Especially as we head in towards the holidays, things are definitely going to change.
This is always
it's already
weird
changing.
Time. Weird time. November over Christmas into New Year.
Yeah.
It's like you're either doing something because you need to, or you're like, well, I'm not doing it now.
Real estate is it's like 11 months because like December, it still counts. You're still working, but a lot of and we would love to be working.
Yeah.
It's just other people aren't.
Three years ago, I sold a house on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But that was the only time.
I've had a business. I've had business Decembers, but you'd never know. I mean, if the snow comes, it could be an icicle. It could be an icicle, or it could be busy, kind of like that. It really is a variable. I don't think Decembers are historic anymore. You know what I mean? They're not just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always slows down around Christmas, which is great. I think for us as realtors, I love the ebbs and flows of Christmas, summer. When things happen, long weekends, everybody else wants to go away. So it kind of like, it does slow down on those times where I like the summer. It seems to slow down in August all the time.
August is definitely
August and December.
Month. Yeah.
So
August and December, and it gives you time to recharge because we need time to recharge, right?
It's funny. Unless the banks or someone says, okay, no more foreign buyers or foreign buyers are back, then it's like season's off. We're back in the race. You know what I mean?
It's so funny. For a long time, it was seasonal. Like there was the
that's what I'm trying to say. It was like that. It's
down
now you don't know.
And then over the last couple of years, you're like, yeah, you can sell a house on Christmas Eve.
Historical was the word I was looking for, right? Yeah. So December's aren't. You can't be like, oh, well, historically this happens in December. Historically, this is what January. I don't know what's going to happen in January. They might say that, whatever. They can make
3
any
years ago, I feel like that all changed. Like the seasons disappeared. Maybe it's starting to come back, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But would you say that for real estate, the seasons have disappeared? It's like harder.
No. I notice. I'm
not saying that they've disappeared, but it's like it's more sporadic. It's harder to predict.
I think even in 2021, you're still seeing multiple offers in the summertime, but you were only seeing 5 multiple offers instead of maybe 15. Where if people are away, right? So
true.
A lot. Like I always say, our weather isn't the greatest in BC and Metro Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
So when the weather's good, people are taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
They're away, they're traveling locally.
If it's 30
they're at
degrees,
their cabin, they're doing
this is a question for you.
Right?
It's always so hard to determine: is an open house better when the weather's shit, or is when it's good? Because when it's good, people are out. But are they going out to do something else? Or if it's raining, are they like, I'm not going out, I'm staying
If it's
home.
the first
right?
week,
it's so hard.
It's a toss-up.
It's like you want it to be cloudy.
I think it depends if it's at the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
It's only the first 2 weeks of summer,
True.
and it's sunny out.
Done.
You're toast. No one's gonna be there.
Nobody's
Everyone's at Cultus Lake or something, right?
Nobody's
or
coming.
if there's only 2 weeks left in summer, or 3 weeks left in summer, and it's sunny out.
Yeah.
Right?
Going back to Russ's point, August tends to slow down because everyone's, they realize this fall's right around the corner.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're going
to Kelowna.
July because we were doing the, XYZ, and it's like we better take advantage
and enjoy ourselves
of what weather's left before.
I totally agree. The end of summer is the quietest because everyone's just gone and getting back to school. I
love it. I want to go away.
Yeah. At the same time though, I like to crush out months like that. I try and take advantage of that because I know a lot of people aren't working.
A lot of realtors are out, so I'm going to crush it. I love that.
Okay, I'm going to do some deals this month because no one else is. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. During December, there's a lot of realtors that are going to take a step back, and if you want to step up, there's a lot of meat out there to be eaten, right?
Yeah. If you want to keep pushing,
I love that.
I like to. It's been too long, guys. I've been a realtor. I think it's almost 18 years now.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's Those are the times where I'm like, oh, nobody's calling me? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right? 100%. I just want to chill out.
I take, for me personally, like I have a dialed in schedule all year, and I've got so many weeks that I allocate to myself, and like I take weeks off all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And you during Christmas and time for sure, and like you have to recharge, right? I'm fortunate enough to have a little bit of backup to help me when I'm gone, and it's like, am I completely unplugged? No.
You can never completely unplug.
But I'm enough to where I can recharge. Like in a couple weeks we're going away for a week, right? And,
for sure.
And that's going to be my recharge, right?
Yeah, but you take your phone and your laptop with
you.
Oh
yeah. Has to be, yeah.
I have so many pictures of me sitting on like my friends' boats, and they're like, why are you bringing your laptop bag? I'm like, cause shit happens when I'm out.
Yeah.
But how good does it?
I'm just gonna take a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like, but if I take a couple hours, somebody's gonna want to write an offer. So I just bring it with me everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, guys, we can't go further down the channel because I get no reception down there. We need to stay over here so that I can keep working.
But how good does it feel to do a deal when you're away? When you're away and you crush out a deal that you didn't, like, you weren't working on it before. Like, you're away, you're on vacation, someone calls and says, hey, I want something happens.
This story about me, like, on the boat, we were going wake surfing out on Pitt Lake, and then there's like the channel before you get to Pitt Lake that has reception. And I was with like 5 of my buddies and bringing my laptop, and I know I'm getting an offer from this lady, and they're like, this is so annoying, like we have to stay here so that you get reception. I'm like, guys, I have a job, I have to stay here. And they're like, okay. She phoned me a couple times, and then after the second time she phoned me, they were like, hey, next time she phones you, you have to incorporate these 3 words into your conversation.
No way!
So I was I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Yeah, how meow? You have done the cat word and then meow? Meow.
It was so funny. They're like, the lady I was talking to, a Filipino lady, super funny, very friendly. So I'm just trying to work in a couple of these words, and all my friends were like, that was crazy. We watched you sell a house, and we threw a couple random words at you, and you worked it in there, and they're all dying, laughing, and they're like, after that, I think
you'd be good at that.
They all felt like differently after. They're like, dude, your job is not easy.
Yeah.
We all think it's like, oh, you just sell houses and you get to hang out, and then like I'm always at work,
it's a mind
building
game.
An elevator, and you're just hanging out going for lunch, right?
No, so it's not that at all.
But then now my buddy who's not building an elevator at work after 5 o'clock, he just gets to check out 100%.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, we never got to check out, right?
No.
I think when I started real estate, I was like, sweet, like I'm gonna become an awesome golfer. And it's like, no, I'm actually golfing less now. And it's like I'm working more hours, and like so
and how hard is it when you're like trying to like golf? Like you can golf and be a realtor, like you can answer the phone, but like there's so many times where my phone rings and the guy I'm in a cart with is like ready to shoot. I'm like, I can't really talk on the phone right now. Right? Yeah. So it's hard to even golf and be a realtor.
Totally. Yeah. You're getting all these calls and people are.
And then they're like, hey, can you send me that? I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like got a minute and a half before I'm gonna hit again. Right? Trying to fit it in. So
trying to get some DocuSign signatures on your phone.
Yeah, that's tough.
But anyways, should we dive into it then?
I think we're in it, man. What
do you want to talk about? You want to talk about stratas then?
Yeah, let's start off with stratas. And
I think that's important. And the reason why I'm asking the question is because I think I've gotten better at it. I think realtors, a realtor who's been a realtor for 8, 9, 10, 15, 18 years is going to be looking at strata docs or strata building a lot different than a realtor who's been a year or two who has not been maybe trained by it as well.
For me, I came from construction. So I look at the building, the exterior of the building. And
like what? Like you're looking at the fascia boards, looking at the roof.
Look at like number one thing that rots right away is a fascia board. Like
that's why
on the end of a peak.
Yep.
If the roofers didn't overhang the shingle or put a piece of flashing there to divert the water into the gutter, it drips off the end. It starts to
That's where I'm looking too.
And that little thing right there in a strata complex. It's 150 townhouses. That could be $1 million project just to fix fascia.
For me, I'm looking at roofs and balcony membranes.
Yes.
I feel like, and windows. Those are the ones that are going to go the most.
100%. Yeah.
How often do you see townhouse complexes replace their windows when their age is past their due, like at 1996? Never. But they're always on the depreciation report. So now you have to explain to your buyers, right, or the realtor on the other end that, hey, these windows are old. yes, they're past due according to the depreciation report, but they're still doing their job the same as they were when they were installed.
Yeah,
they're not leaking.
Man.
So it's like
sometimes
that can be
they
a
fix
deal
a couple
breaker
of them.
for buyers.
The depreciation report, I love it, but I also hate it at the same time because I know, for me, I know that these are just like there's an engineer sitting in an office that some guy took pictures and the engineer goes, well, those windows are 20 years old.
Yeah.
They should be replaced, and that goes in. And if you don't know anything about construction, you're gonna lean on that depreciation report.
There's this coming up. There's this coming up. There's
Yeah.
this coming up.
Oh, yeah,
There's this
but
coming
even
up.
though
not
they're
gonna
going to
hit.
defer that window another 10 to 12 years.
But it says that there's $140,000 coming out at the next 2 years.
It's
like,
great, but I also think it scares people a little.
I think that selling a home that was built in the mid 90s that has poly B and aluminum windows is much easier to sell than a townhouse that was built in the mountains.
Because they don't have, it doesn't come with a report from an engineer going, this is 10 years too old now.
Of course, they get a home inspection, but at least if the home inspector is good, they can explain that,
I love when home inspectors
they
explain
can
it.
explain it a little bit differently to hopefully put that buyer's mind at ease with all the stuff that could be upcoming.
Yeah, that's funny
right?
because the inspector is the one who is like, hey, these are old, but you could get at least another 5-10 years.
and
out
this
of
is
it.
only going to be $50. So this is
versus a strata,
Yeah.
you get the depreciation report by an engineer, and their job is to
make it look.
like there's things like
They wanna cover their
They
butt.
can't be like, hey, I'm an engineer. Everything looks good, man. You got another 10 years out of it.
No.
Their job is to highlight the things that could go wrong. And they highlight them
It's very
highlight
clear.
them.
That says
They
replace in
highlight
2 years. $300,000.
Yeah.
It says it right
That being
there.
said, you can get home inspectors that will be deal breakers, right?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
of course, we all know Inspector Dad who comes along with the buyer.
Oh,
right?
measuring
So-
tape and looking
so-
under the
I
fridge.
saw a video the other day.
It's the best.
You know,
First time home buyers, right?
I saw a video the other day. It was like these guys playing soccer, and it was like this one guy. He kicks the ball, and they're trying to keep it up.
I saw
And it's like,
I saw the
and it's
meme.
like, hey, it's the first showing,
yeah,
and
I
the
saw
ball
that
goes,
too,
and then
yeah.
it goes to this guy,
And then
it
the
goes
lawyer,
and
and
then
then
the last one is it's like ready to remove subjects, and then Inspector Dad comes in, and the guy just kicks the other guy in the nuts.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the
one.
deal falls apart.
Right,
Like eight people are trying to keep this ball afloat, and then the dad comes in and just ruins it all.
Yeah, it's
Dad
like
comes
they
in,
don't
what's-
want to. They don't want to let go of their kids, and
Yeah. Oh man.
This floor's looking a little sloped.
yeah,
a little sloped, I think.
You know, I've sold a lot of houses in my day, and
yeah.
it's like, you sold 3 maybe in your whole life, and that was like your last one was 15 years ago. Things change.
Things have changed a lot in 15 years.
But going back to stratas, I like to look for landscaping as well. The way that the building's being kept, you have the fencing and the landscaping and stuff like that.
I think you can really tell when you drive in.
That's what I'm
Like,
trying to say.
You roll into the complex.
I wanna
and
get
you're
a
like,
feeling.
Oh wow, this place is
Yeah.
really nice. Or you roll in and you're like, wow, this place is super plain. Like there's no landscaping, which
The upkeep.
could be a flip side. Like,
never
do you
know,
spend
right?
$100,000 on landscaping
Yeah.
every year?
Yeah.
Or do you spend nothing because you don't have?
Or you tuck it
landscaping?
away in the contingency fund because you think something's up and coming, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I've seen that too. Like you got a high contingency fund, but now all of a sudden the townhouse or the building isn't in the greatest shape.
No
But
pressure washing, no gardening.
Yeah, you've got
stuff like that.
I personally would rather a higher strata than have a place that's put band-aids all over the place.
Ooh,
Band-aid,
that's a
band-aid,
good
band-aid,
question.
band-aid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather someone have like, okay, my strata fee is only $450, but mine's $580. But that one $580 has taken care of the membrane and taken care of the
that's-
roof and
so
stuff like
that's
that.
a good topic because when
Yeah.
you do a depreciation report, they always have different funding examples.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
different
the,
ways.
Yeah.
models.
Yeah.
Funding models, right?
Yeah.
So there's 3 of them, right? Put no money in the contingency
Yes.
fund, big levies. Put a ton of money in the contingency fund, no special levies, or do a balance
blend.
of both. So now you say you like high strata fees, but the problem with high strata fees is that when you have high strata fees, it lowers the value of the building and the home because people can't afford it.
Yeah.
Right? So now all of a sudden, because like a lot of the times when you're out there with your buyers, like myself in particular right now, I've got a buyer looking like in Kitsilano, but strata fees are a big thing.
Huge.
Because if they're $250 difference, well, that's half of that's a $50,000
Yeah, yeah.
mortgage payment.
True.
Yeah.
Right. So me personally, like as a townhouse owner, right, like and from coming from a townhouse with a strata corporation that has higher maintenance fees, I don't necessarily like that because it brings down the value of my house.
And like,
but Band-Aids are scary,
moving,
though.
right? So
I'm moving, yeah.
You're moving. So the other thing that...
Congratulations on your new home, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Really happy for you,
Good
man.
job, bud.
Thanks.
Good. I know you've been working on that one a while,
really
right?
happy.
Pretty stoked about
That gives
that.
me goosebumps. I'm really happy for you. That's awesome.
One thing that I always say to my clients too is like, yeah, you might see a higher strata fee, like you said, it's going into paying for things, so you're not getting a special levy for $5,000 in 2 years. So would you rather pay, incrementally, or would you like to get a big bill?
Yeah.
Or are you paying a high strata fee and you're planning on moving in 2 years?
I always bring that up.
Are you planning on moving in 2 years? So now you're paying a high strata fee for something that's happening in 10 years.
Yeah, you're not even going to be here.
You're not even benefiting.
You're not benefiting from paying into a contingency fund that you're not going to use. Yeah. Oh, we're forecasting a roof in 10 years, and we're forecasting this, and it's like, well, I'm out of here in 5.
Yeah.
So why would I want to pay into that, right? So that's why I think the good model is a balance.
Yeah. Right.
A good balance. So special levies are normal. I always tell that to my clients. If you get a $1,500 special levy. Can
we explain to the people what a special levy is in case
every
someone's
couple
watching?
Years? That's a good thing. So a special levy is for projects that come up that can't be covered by the contingency fund,
the reserve fund within the building.
So your maintenance fees, I always explain it like this: your maintenance fees are for maintenance. They're for your guarding, your garbage removal, pressure washing, upkeep of the building. Yeah. But things like roofs and balcony membranes
or unexpected things,
right? Like you're inevitably going to have special levies, right?
Yeah.
But like myself, like I'm not worried about a special levy. If I'm getting a $10,000 special levy for my roof, great. That's great because now I know we're getting a new roof. Guess what? That's equity that's going into your home, and you can get that back when you sell it. I think the problem is when the strata has a meeting, they're like, we have an upcoming roof coming. We have a roof coming up, but there's no meeting, there's no nothing. So now
now as a realtor, that's in there.
You're guessing.
Yes.
Right? As a realtor, you're guessing, okay, well, how much is it going to cost, right? So if you're representing the buyer, now you got to say, okay, well, there's a roof coming up in 2 years.
Let's talk about how long that project would take.
We don't know anything about it other than it's coming up. We know that you want to buy this house. We know there's not going to be an AGM or an SGM in the next 3 months. So now we got to negotiate that roof,
and the sellers are going to be like, well, it's not even happening right now. Why do I have to pay for it?
What if it doesn't happen?
What if it doesn't happen?
And before it happens, they got to hire an engineer to come. They got to pick the company they're even going to do the roof. So once they say they're going to do it, then they have to find a couple.
So that's the problem, right? And
it's a lot of unknown and letting other people decide on how you spend your money. I think that's tough, but that's part of a strata. That's what comes with buying a townhouse that's $900,000 versus buying a house that's 1.5. Right?
Yeah. You don't
get the choice necessarily, even though you can vote, but it's out of your control.
Yeah. There's lots of variables. What I like to look for is at least a cohesive strata, right? So I don't want bickering back and forth. I don't want we got the overchange of a president over the next couple of years. I want, when they're talking about the financial plan for the year, I want it to be all 12 votes in favor, things like that. But just you want to be cohesive. I think when you have some stratas you can park a car in the driveway or no cars in the driveway. Yeah. Things like that.
So many different rules
and different bylaws. But really the people on council are the ones in control. Like they are the ones that control the strata corporation. And if you've got a bad council, you've got a bad strata corporation.
That's exactly what I'm talking about now. When I'm looking at the annual general report and I see that the strata council has thanked the president for another great year, and when they're like kumbaya, and it's 12 votes all in favor, and it's kumbaya, and everything's going good. The strata president's been the strata president for the last 12 years. It's like, okay, I like this because now they have some passion inside the building. But that's one of the things I look for when I'm trying to buy.
The other thing too is when you get these strata corporations, they're making decisions for your strata and the building. And the biggest issue that I always have is you got some 60-year-old dude that has no construction experience, no knowledge of building, and he's the one who decides that they're getting a new fence.
Yeah, or raising alarm bells. Yeah. Like we need a new roof. It's like, well, like in my complex, they're like, oh, you need a new roof. It's like, no, we just did the roof 15 years ago, and it's got and we paid for a 40-year product. Wow. The roof should be fine, right? So it's like, what ended up happening is they ended up just doing a routine roof maintenance, and then everything was good.
Yeah, the problem too is that guy says that it goes in strata minutes, and then the buyer goes, well, this guy's talking about a new roof.
Exactly.
Even though it means nothing, it's now in the record, and that people will look at that and go, well.
Also litigation too. You don't want to see any stratas in litigation.
Yeah. That's a lot. A lot of them. Yeah. The problem is too is like any foreclosure is litigation, anything like that.
If they have someone do work on the building and the work is faulty, now they're suing that work company and that kind of litigation.
Or if the strata corporation isn't doing the work that they should be doing,
and the building is suing the strata, the owners are suing the strata. Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah. I've done it. So,
I would tell my clients to not buy into that one.
Well, it was a small pending
during that pending.
It was a small thing, right? CRT, right? Civil Resolution Tribunal. Yes. So that's what it is, right? You're not actually suing them. There's like
it's like a mediator.
It's like a mediator, right? But like the Strata Corporation wasn't doing something that they should have been doing, right? They weren't doing something they should have been doing to the common property or my limited common property. So
you're talking about like landscaping upkeep.
So I just went after them, right? Yeah. So one thing led to another, and it was off, but it was minor. And that's the thing, you can see it all, right? You have all the documentation, but how often do you get the Form B and it says the box is checked
for litigation,
checked off, and then there's nothing that accompanies it.
It's
right?
so funny because it
and
says,
you have to dig for it.
It's supposed to be attached at the bottom. I'm like, hey, where is
alterations agreement? You're like, where?
And it could be from 3 years ago or something like that. You
How many times do you guys get a Form B that's wrong?
All the time.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like you have to pay so much money to get this Form B. Wait 7 days, and then it comes in. I'm like, the last one that I got, I'm like, this isn't even the same building.
Explain what a Form B is in case the people don't know.
Form B is just a basic snapshot of the strata where they're sitting at that moment when that Form B is ordered. So
of that unit too, right?
Of that unit.
Of that particular
specific parking spot numbers, storage locker numbers, what's in the actual contingency reserve fund, strata fee. There's some other good information in there. An appreciation report is attached to that. Financials are attached to that. Like there's that.
To
that
the
is,
strata docs as a whole.
That is the.
And you have to order it every 3 months when you have a listing.
Yeah, it's about every 90 days.
90 days.
If you're getting close.
Or you're just updating the minutes. Yeah. Usually they're pretty good about just passing you the minutes, or you can just get them from the homeowner.
Yeah.
Toss me the minutes.
I don't love strata corporations when I'm trying to order strata documents, man.
Yeah. What about this, if you guys don't mind? What do you guys think about private stratas and companies like Pacific Rim?
Like self-managed?
Yeah, self-managed.
Terrible.
That's why. It's like,
when I just said,
that's all three of us think it's sketchy. Well, if I see self-managed, I'm like, okay.
At least they need to do a depreciation report by law now, right?
So there is some good ones, but it's sketchy to me.
It's their minutes. They're just, they don't
talk about it.
They're not organized,
it's
right?
It's sketchy.
So you don't know what's going on. So that at that point, you really got to lean on the home inspector, because when you get a home inspector and they come to a strata, they're not looking at the building.
They can't even go. The last one I wasn't allowed on the roof because the realtor went up there and fell down the ladder and broke her leg. So they said nobody's allowed on the roof anymore.
So you really got to lean on the home inspector to kind of look at the exterior, right? But where do you see self-managed? Typically in smaller strata developments, because they're not. They don't have the money to.
It's $50,000. It's $50,000 to have a management company take over and do
10% or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. The last one I saw was expensive, and they know what's going on, and they direct the strata to keep them in line and like go in the right direction.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're getting out of self-managed. You're getting, self-managed typically is the older complexes or older people.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're not going to pay for that. Let's save money. We'll do it ourselves.
And smaller. Yeah. Like 15 units or under.
To pay somebody that much money to do.
And some of them are really good. Right?
That's what I want to be clear. Some self-managed complexes are really good.
They're really good.
Are really good.
But at that point you got to be asking like the right questions. How old's the roof? How old are the balcony membranes? lanes, right? And then you have your inspector go around and look at everything. You see how much is in the contingency fund, right? You see how's this place landscaped and who does the landscaping, and
Mark does it.
Exactly. Mark
does landscape. That's what I'm trying
to say. Mark's moving next month. So
Mark has been doing it for free for the last 10 years, but Mark is moving.
Yeah, exactly.
And now who's going to do it? Nobody.
Yeah.
So we were going to talk about Richmond and Mission, but do we all agree Mission? If you had to move your family to one city, would it be, and you had Richmond or Mission, what would you pick, Ollie?
I'm picking Port Coquitlam.
I like Poco
I'm
too,
not
man.
going anywhere.
My man, Poco,
baby.
That's what's up, man. I love that. That was not the question.
So I don't know Richmond that well.
Why don't you know Richmond that well?
Because
I never go there.
I drive through Richmond when I
go to the airport.
When I go to the airport, right? So I really, I have clients in Richmond. I've sold homes in Richmond before, but I don't know it that well.
Yeah.
Mission, the population is supposed to double in the next 20 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Is it 20? Or
I think it's 15.
I think it's 20. I think it's 20, right? So Polygon, I believe, owns everything from like basically the beginning of Mission City all the way to the 3 gas stations there, all the way to Silverdale.
So right after
they own that whole hill.
Right
after
so they bought it all. Right after Stave Lake kind of thing.
Yeah, so what we're gonna see there is we're gonna see Morningstar and Epic Homes,
and they just did the highway
and all the Polygon townhouses. Like they already got a set of townhouses in there, and it's just gonna push and push and push, and it's gonna be more affordable than Maple Ridge.
Yeah,
and people are gonna be like, oh well, 240th.
It's not that far.
West Mission to Silverdale, that's only 10 minutes, especially with the new road upgrade.
Especially
if they ever
saving
finish
money
it.
on gas.
If they ever finish it.
If they ever finish the 4 lanes, right?
Man.
So
I love that
so I don't know. Me, I'm not I can't say I hate Mission, but
I don't hate Mission.
For me, I'm as close to being downtown. I think I like having that access. Not that I'm going there that often, but Mission's far.
Yeah, if you were
Mission
like, hey, I'm going to a
My
Canucks
mom
game.
lives pretty close to Mission.
If I'm going to a Canucks game from Mission, it's a long way.
Oh, it's almost like, am I staying the night down there?
Yeah,
of thing,
it's
that is for sure.
So,
but they got good cheap gas, don't they?
Well, that's what
and
Silverdale.
It depends where
cheap gas. I tried to Mission.
Like when I worked on the tugs and I was getting off, we had a tugboat and we crew changed in Mission sometimes, and like when we were getting off the tugs and it's 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
You're sleeping there.
No. We're getting off. We're driving home, and like these people are just gunning it.
Yeah.
Like they're going 140 on Lougheed Highway because they're trying to maximize every minute of sleep, and then they're like, I'm getting in my car. I'm going 140 until I hit traffic on the freeway on the number one.
Oh, man.
And because that's where they're going. They're going Mission all the way downtown, right?
Yeah.
So like that. That is like an hour
terrible.
and 10 minutes with no traffic.
But it's Richmond.
It's terrible.
But it's Richmond though.
No. Well, that's
so
Richmond,
Ollie chooses Mission.
I would choose Mission.
So to keep on track. So instead of saying Mission, what city official community plans? What plans do you like for which cities? What do you like the progressiveness of which cities do you like? What do you see?
Well, I think Chilliwack. I drive a lot for hockey. So I go to all these different municipalities, and I can tell you in the last 5 years of driving to Chilliwack and Abbotsford, it is exploding.
Abbotsford, huge.
It's exploding. And what I love about it is they have so much space that they're like, hey, we're going to build a new
Labatt factory.
We're going to build a new hockey rink here.
Yeah.
And like we can't in Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows, we don't have any room to build anything.
You've got
anything.
You've got ALR land that might get converted. But
this is going to be very hard for that to happen. But yeah, we have so much land, but it's all ALR. But out in Abbotsford and Chilliwack, they also have a lot of ALR, but they have a lot of extra space and flat areas where they're like, hey, we're going to build 400 houses right here.
Yeah.
Hey, we can go over there. It's not like Langley where it's one street.
Very easily.
Very easily.
And Langley's blowing up huge too. I mean, like, we're talking about housing shortage problems, 3 years ago. Well, you go to Langley and there's no shortage of condos no shortage of townhouses, all packed into one area.
Yeah,
right.
Ridiculous.
So, if I'm an investor, I'm not investing in
Langley.
Too
much inventory.
Too much competition.
Too much competition, right?
Houses, townhouses, and
I've
condos.
got a listing. I've got a townhouse listing, and it's tough to sell right now in Langley Because we got 130 other listings to go up.
You're
again.
competing with,
It's ridiculous.
And buyers are coming around, and they're just here. Take this. They're dangling the carrot, right?
Yeah.
Like,
they're looking at 10 listings at a time.
How many high rises are in Langley right now? Is it just there's just one? Is there
not a lot?
Is there one?
I don't even know.
I think there's one high.
I can't think of any.
So they're all wood frame though, right?
For the most part, yeah.
For sure. Let me ask this, because you're a Pitt Meadows guy.
Yeah.
Amazon, that big chunk of land that they have back up there. I heard Pitt Meadows people have a beef about
big
that.
fight. It was a big fight. So there's a lot of sketchy things going on with the previous mayor.
Because Amazon's eating up a lot of...
A couple years ago.
Yeah, they're eating some real estate up.
A lot, and it's waterfront.
Yeah. And they don't sell anything. They only lease everything, right? So they build these tilt-ups, and they're like, hey, here's your warehouse. You can lease it from me. You cannot buy it. I'm keeping it. Because they bought all that land. I think it was like $40 million, and then
the city did.
No, Ani.
Oh, Ani did.
Ani bought it.
Yeah.
It was still ALR, and they paid like $40 million for it. And then they were like, okay, now we're gonna work on the city to get them to convert it out and give us make it industrial.
Yeah.
And it was a couple years, and I feel like some shady things
I feel like
happened.
somebody got paid off, because that's...
I didn't want to say that. But some shady things happened, and then all of a sudden that $40 million investment turned to $250 million overnight.
Yes.
Because a council decided that was a good idea. So they helped Ani make hundreds of millions of dollars, and we all thought that like it would turn into maybe more housing. That's like more townhouses, more houses. It's a great area already. Yeah. And they were like, no, we're going to do industrial. We're going to build warehouses. And everybody was like, why? Like, you can keep the warehouses over by the airport, but this whole section, besides
the whole waterfront of Pitt Meadows,
surrounded by houses and townhouses, you're going to be like, and let's put warehouses right here.
And it's not just warehouses.
Amazon. It's running all night.
Right in the middle.
With all that being said, because I literally live, I can probably throw a rock at the Amazon warehouse from my house.
No way.
Yeah. Like I see it. It's at the end of my street.
Okay. There you go.
And I was like, this used to be farmland. My kids used to go play in the field.
Yes.
We used to ride our dirt bikes there. Yeah. And then now they're tearing it all down to build warehouses. And everybody was against it.
It bugged me when I saw it. I bumped into it about 2 years ago when I was driving down to go show
it's actually pretty decent now.
Well, tell me about it.
You get packages really quick. That's like really quick.
That's
really fucking
really quick.
Same day delivery.
Same 3-4 hours.
Same hour delivery, man. Like
really?
No joke. You can get stuff extremely fast.
Yeah.
Great. That's all funny. But if that was houses, there'd be thousands of more people. And there's already a lot of traffic coming in and out of Airport Road getting onto the bridge.
Yeah.
So if that was actually houses, there would be thousands of more cars, which I'm not a huge favor of.
No one likes traffic.
The trucks, not the greatest. The Amazon trucks, you should see them at 11 a.m. I don't know what their shift time is. 11 a.m. change. Yeah. It is literally the whole road is Amazon trucks going out. It's crazy. 15, 20 minutes of ant behavior going on.
Yeah.
And the only one diesel gas station we have in Pitt Meadows is the Shell.
Oh, wow.
And all their trucks are diesel.
No way.
So it literally is I have a diesel
that's
truck.
Not cool.
That's weird.
I have a diesel truck, and I like to get gas every once in a while. It's tough because there's like 10 guys in a line. Right? So that's kind of annoying. But the best thing that possibly could have happened is the city, because they approved this and then it went to a different council and a different mayor, those before it started being built, they were hammering them on the design. They were like not approving stuff that they thought they were going to get approved. Yeah. So they made them build pathways everywhere around the Amazon warehouses. 8-foot wide blacktop pathways,
so people could,
with berms that cover up, like so you don't have to look at the.
So you can go in and out of it and kind of I didn't know that.
Nature's walk, right?
Now my
Nature's
street,
walk. Yeah, it's funny.
Now my street, you go to the end of the street. There's an 8-foot blacktop path that goes from the water all the way to the high school, the hockey
Amazon
rink,
had to do that.
Around. They had to do it all.
That's cool.
And it is fantastic.
Cool. And I guarantee you, the city is making a pile of money on property tax.
So yes, that was the one reason.
That's what I was getting at.
That was the one reason, because you get more property tax from industrial.
That's exactly what I was going with.
The problem is only if it's rented. So all these places, that's not even 50%.
They're all vacant.
They're all vacant, and they don't get property tax.
You're talking about the warehouse?
That'll come. Obviously, we're having a major problem with our economy right now.
It will.
So that's not going to happen tomorrow. But eventually it'll get leased. But I think Amazon themselves are paying a huge, massive.
They don't buy,
tax.
And again, Ani's didn't sell them the building.
Yeah,
they're just leasing them the building, which is.
Amazon's leasing it off of Ani?
Yeah. No, they leased Amazon, I guarantee you, paid to build the buildings.
Yeah. I don't know if they paid to build the buildings or they got them built by Ani.
But the land is leased.
That's all leased to Amazon. And then
Ani, eh?
Yeah. It's crazy. The amount of money that comes in or whatever's going on there. It's crazy. The other bonus was Ani had to donate, I think it's 20 acres of land right next to the warehouses, right in between the warehouses and the soccer fields.
Yeah.
So they have a huge flat 20 acres that they're building a new outdoor lacrosse box, more soccer fields, like turf soccer fields, more parking. Funded by well, no, Amazon and Ani was just had to donate the land, and then now the city has to pay for the rest.
So you would say that like Pitt Meadows is maxed out for residential.
Yeah, we have.
So what's their plans then for their OCP? Because they don't have a lot of low-rise condos. No. They don't have a lot of townhouses like newer.
I don't know who
decides.
It's
hard for Pitt Meadows to grow.
I don't know who decides. I think it's Metro Vancouver or whatever it is decides on how much density or how many houses you have to build in a certain amount of time. And they've come to the municipality or Pitt Meadows and said, "Hey, you guys have to build so many houses to meet your goal, or you're not." I don't know what happens if they don't meet the goal, but Pitt Meadows
don't get the SkyTrain.
And the mayor and council is saying like, "Well, we don't have room. Like we actually can't build anything extra. We have to start tearing stuff down. But there's so many rules.
You got to build up.
You got to build up, but you have to tear down, and you can't find land. We can't just go and take land.
Well, that's when the city comes in and has to change the zoning in the area. That's where the OCP comes in.
100%. Right. Start doing land assemblies, right?
So I had a client who was going to subdivide, and they're like, "Oh, you can't subdivide anymore. That's only a fourplex now."
Gotcha.
Where it was like everybody else subdivided and built 2 new houses, and she's like, "Oh, this is going to be great. I'm holding out. I'm sandwiched between 4 brand new houses. I have a double lot, an old rancher house. I'm ready to tear it down, but I want this much money for it." And then the OCP changed, and they're like, "Oh, you can't subdivide that to individual houses anymore. It's fourplex or nothing."
So what? So Pitt Meadows has a lot of ALR land. So
they're the whole
are they exploring trying to get some land out? Because I know like Poco's got land out of ALR before. Right,
I think it's even harder now.
The whole Fremont area, believe it was all ALR at some point.
There's the Lougheed corridor, which is basically from the driving range all the way down to the Nissan dealership. That whole section is supposed to be like not very far back off of Lougheed.
Yeah, that's ALR now.
But a huge strip where they're supposedly building towers, restaurants,
that's been a
townhouses
rumor for like the last 15, 20 years.
Right? And I feel like it would be somewhat like Fremont, where it would just be a long strip with, restaurants, stores.
What do you think of west of 203rd? I call that area in Maple Ridge the piece of land that Pitt Meadows wish they had.
Which one is that?
Like west Maple Ridge. Anything west of 203rd,
is it like
north of Dudney.
Other side of the Abernathy? Is that what you're talking about?
North of Dudney. It's pretty nice pocket, nice neighborhood in there. And like they've got direct access to the bridge. They're not dealing with the train, right? They're not dealing with the airport, right?
Yeah.
So
that's funny because I always say I would never move out of Pitt Meadows,
but you'd move.
But I'd move to 203rd. Yeah, because it's not Maple Ridge-ish. It's
Maple.
Like,
it is, but
it's
the piece of Pitt Meadows
that Pitt Meadows wish they had.
Pitt Meadows never had.
Pitt Meadows is so huge, but we only get one little pocket off Lougheed.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Because everything else is ALR on the other side, which is where I want to live.
Yeah, and then
that's why I brought up the Amazon thing, because I went down there and it's like, how big is Amazon? How big is the property?
I don't know, 100 acres probably.
Yeah, 100 acres of Pitt Meadows is a lot of property to take up in the tiniest place in the GVR.
Originally I wanted houses, but after thinking about it, 1,000 houses down there, that's 4 people per house at least.
Yeah,
that's 4 or 5, and they probably build them high enough where they could have basement suites, right? That's 6,000 people right there, which is too much.
We could actually talk about like, you know, housing density and increases, right? Like, you know, Pitt Meadows, there's a lot of floodplain there, right? So doing low rises down in that floodplain is not possible. Like, but we can go shift back to Poco where we're all from. We can talk about the OCP there and how Port Coquitlam has changed over the years, right? You know, when I moved into Port Coquitlam when I was 5 years old, there was one apartment building, you know, on off of Western, and that was it, right? And the rest was detached homes. And over the years, you know, the OCP has changed and the zoning has changed, and downtown Port Coquitlam is nothing but condos.
Well, right? I remember when they got the tower, and I was like, this is an actual tower. There's no other towers around. You've been in the tower. Unbelievable view.
Yeah.
Like, you get to see everything, and you'd think eventually there's like one tower, they build another one, they build no,
just one
tower, and you get to see everywhere.
So like Port Coquitlam, like with all that housing density increase, like you'd go from 3 detached homes to a condo building, right? So what does that equal? That equals property tax from 2 or 3 homes. Now we've got property tax from, you know, 25 to 40 to 60 units, depending on the age of the building, because we're going from 3-story to 4-story to now 6-story, right? So Poco's got a lot of money because their infrastructure really hasn't changed over the years.
No.
Although our roads need to get paved, by the way.
Well, hey, one thing I will say is you have a wicked mayor.
I was Brad West.
Brad West.
Shout out to Brad West, man. He's a good guy.
About Brad West, the guy, I'm like, this guy is doing.
I think he's great.
He is doing things. He is out there. Really good, he is out there shoveling during snow days. Like, he is doing things.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I would love to. Yeah, I would move to Poco for Brad West.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like he is like dialed in on what he wants. He's got a young family, which is like what we all have.
Yeah.
And he's focused on making it better.
On the city,
He's legit.
No, he's a good guy.
He's
I sat
legit.
down with him before, and we've had some good discussions.
We should try and get him on the podcast.
I'd love to hear his progressive thoughts.
Real good guy.
I've heard him get mad at the city and stuff like that too. Like, he'll fight. Like, what was he asking for? Hazel.
Yeah.
He's pissed about Hazel.
But then a week later, they announced that they're rebuilding it.
Yeah. No way. Did they?
They just did.
I saw his letter and he was pissed.
It's going to be ready December
2027.
2027.
Your kids?
Yeah, Dane goes there. Yeah. So like he was going into grade 1 when it
So
burned
what
down.
happened? What happened?
So they truck them all up to Winslow Center. Don't truck them.
They truck them all up.
They go to Hazel every day, and they get picked up by
Hazel
3 or 4 buses, and then they bus them up to Winslow Center in Coquitlam.
Way.
Winslow Center is like an old school, so they just refit it. It's like super old school though. Like you go in there,
it's like a real school.
Yeah, so it's like it's cool. Like they rebuilt it. Yeah. Well, not rebuilt it, but
just renovated.
They renovated, like, because the kids had nowhere to go for weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy,
right? So, anyways, so we've all been waiting, and we're just thinking like, oh, they're just getting the plans ready, but really,
somebody that's just deciding if they want to do it.
So they got the okay, but then we were just waiting for like a schedule, and then he piped up and said something, and then a week later the schedule was released and the details.
Bravo to him! I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's why I like him, because he gets things done. He's like, I'm not just gonna sit around and wait for the bureaucracy to happen.
Can I be open about something? I don't like the new Terry Fox statue.
Oh, you don't?
I don't know. I loved the old one so much.
The old one's still there. It's just on Northside. It's by Hyde Creek.
Yeah, by where they do the run.
I don't know why they would move it to Northside though.
I'm upset about it.
Just on the Northside.
You should have seen his face.
He went to Terry Fox secondary, but he also went to Maryhill Junior first.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but they did move it. So
I don't know. I saw it and I like. It's another statue, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty cool. I haven't seen it in person.
You haven't seen it in person?
No, I haven't seen it in person.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the idea of the whole little thing looks cool. I don't know. I love the statue.
You just have to stand in the right spot.
You have to stand in the right spot to get the feeling. But if you're
you're
looking over, you're seeing like this like anyways, I'm happy for the statue.
We should go back to like the OCP with Poco though, right? Yeah. So they're like similar to Pitt Meadows. They're maxed out.
Yeah, they got 100%.
Right? So all we can do is build out. Well, they got a neighborhood in between Tyner and Maryhill, and it's the OCPs for townhouses. The problem is that the lots are so like they're not deep enough, right? So you can't do townhouses. So it's like change the OCP
and there's no
to low-rise condos, and they haven't done it.
How many times do they come to people that deal with this every day and ask us? Never. They got, again, you got some person sitting in an office going, well, the OCP should say this. This should be townhouses. But it's like we see this every day, and I'm sure you could go in and be like, this is a bad idea. This is a great idea. You should change it to this. Yeah. But they never ask us. Why don't they ever ask us?
You know those two buildings downtown Poco, the Shaughnessy one, that brand new white building, right on Shaughnessy, the brand new one. They're doing Shaughnessy to Shaughnessy. Yeah. That one went into foreclosure or whatever it is. They stopped building that one because we were the sales team for it, and the developer's not building it anymore.
Yeah.
So he owns both the lots. He's built Shaughnessy 1. This one's supposed to be Shaughnessy 2. Not coming anymore.
That was like Pitt Meadows. They have the one tower or the one tall building right by 7-Eleven. Yeah. And then they have this vacant lot. They were supposed to build 2 or 3, and they were just like, no, we're going to stop at 2. And they just have this one empty parking lot now that's fenced off. That's been sitting there for 15 years.
So I mean, to sum it all up, we're talking for years they're like housing shortage, and now it's the opposite. Right, I'm like, and I always.
How can we go from a housing shortage to having this many? It's not a housing shortage; it's financing.
Yeah. I was just gonna say free money. That was free money, giving the money out.
Yeah, it's lower interest rates, keep them solid, don't change them, and everything will
gobble up. And immigration's definitely down now. So there's not as many people coming to Canada, and they're not renewing people's visas
for sure.
So everyone's leaving. Yeah. Right. And I mean, when you look at Canada from the outside, we're not the country we were 5 or 10 years ago. So other than our free medical, why is it that appealing to move here, right? So
free medical that takes 12 months, 10 months.
Yeah, that's a different topic, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say free medical used to be really, really great, but now it's so much.
I would rather pay.
Yeah, that's why I know.
10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Okay, what about wood frame versus concrete? You guys have any feelings about that?
Concrete.
And then after we talk about this, we'll talk about where we see the market
concrete
going.
If you can afford it. Yeah. I feel like right now, like there's so many concrete. But I've got a client right now who's looking in like West Coquitlam, and we're going in different buildings, and we're like, hey, they're listed for $860. We're coming in $760. And they're like, no way! Like the last sale was like $860.
8 months ago.
No, like 2 months ago. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but there's this development down the road that just dropped their price by $100,000. Plus, my first-time home buyer doesn't have to pay GST. So
he'll go to that.
Yeah. So and your house is sitting vacant, right? Your place is saying
mortgage payment every month.
So if you want it,
what do you want to do?
We're going to every unit. We're going to every unit in the building, and
someone's going to bite.
Like I'm obviously very upfront with the realtor. Like, hey, this is just what we're doing. Like, don't take it the wrong way. Like, I'm not bullying them
this is the situation that we're looking for.
I'm trying to get the deal done at the same time.
That's why when you call somebody and you talk to them first, before you just throw a lowball offer at them, maybe they'll understand instead of getting their back up.
So concrete buildings are becoming so affordable now that they're the better option.
And
right?
so
because they last longer.
They last longer. Sound, whatever that.
Sound,
right?
The only thing maintenance fees. There's so many people in that building. There's only so much maintenance they need to do the exterior,
like painting and
while I'm thinking about it, what do you guys think about townhouses connected to high rises?
Oh, I don't like those.
No, high strata fees.
That's where I was just going with that.
I would never sell my client into a townhouse that's connected.
Like a 1,400 square foot townhouse connected at the bottom, connected to a town.
A three level, like one room on or 4 level.
And let's be clear about that. Why?
Rooftop, because they pay such a high
strata fee. Because of their unit entitlement,
exactly.
Right? So they got so you got 1,400 square foot townhouse compared to other people have an 800 square foot condo, 900 square foot, 600 square foot.
They are hard to sell.
Yeah.
Even in a good market.
I've seen $800 strata fees, $950 strata fees.
That's like if I got a client, like I've never sold one before, but I just know how hard they are. Like if I got someone calling me up for that, of course I'll do it, you know, like I'll sell anything, right? To a certain point, but like, I'm not getting excited over it.
Yeah, you're not.
So the same townhouse. So if you have the exact same townhouse connected to a high rise and the exact same townhouse not connected to a high rise, you're talking $400 or $500 different strata to like an $800 strata fee.
And the amount of people.
And the amount of people that you're dealing with on that strata.
And that's why I don't love towers, because I would hate to ride an elevator that long every day.
And it's also rare that you also have to park in the underground parking usually as well. So you also don't get your garage door.
For sure. And I think those townhouses that are connected to high rises, you're in the core of some
Brentwood
downtown
or something like that
area. So there is no other townhouses that exist. Right. So that's the alternative to a detached home that's twice the money, right, or 75% or whatever it is, right? So, but for some people that's what they want, and if that's what they want, then that's what they want, right? So,
well, before you could only build a 4-story wood frame, so if you wanted anything higher, it had to be concrete. But now they're going up 6, 7, 8-story wood frame now.
Is it 8?
I think
8. I haven't seen.
I know it's 6.
6 for sure.
6. I haven't seen 7.
And the bottom floor is concrete on a 6-story.
Yeah.
So the first floor is concrete, which is good if you got the first floor, because then you got a good
patio,
good sound barrier.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I'm going concrete
for sure
all day long.
Is there any benefit to wood frame? Because I think you can go have more, cheaper. But you can also have more flexible floor plans as well. Because the concrete, you're gonna have a concrete pour. I find that you have cooler floor plans with wood frame.
Yeah,
you can have more variation.
And more variation with the wood frame, right?
I wouldn't say there is a big advantage for sure.
I'm trying to give wood frame a little bit of something, but no, it's definitely
wood frame goes up quicker too.
Like Russ said,
cheaper.
Wood frame,
goes up in fire
wood frame
quicker.
is affordable.
Right.
Yeah. But like what I alluded to, going back to what I said earlier, concrete buildings and wood frame, because there's such a surplus of them, right? Like that gap is narrowing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Where before it was like, I'll buy it in a concrete building because it'll last longer, it's quieter, all this stuff. But building now, like they're getting a lot better at building wood frame as well to be quieter and have sound barriers in between. So I don't know.
The newer one,
wood frame is easy.
Yeah, wood frames. The newer ones are better, right? Like we talked about it earlier. Mid 90s, you got poly B, you got aluminum windows, you got you've got all these potential levies coming up in the future, right? And high maintenance fees, right? So if my client's looking for a condo, I'm trying to steer them into something that was built in the 2000s if they can afford it. Right? If it's built in the 90s, then okay, you better have your strata corporation better be in check.
And you better be ready to listen to your neighbor. Because you're gonna hear them.
Very
right?
true.
Anything newer, they change the building code. There's separation between walls. There's fire stop in between. Where older stuff just doesn't have that.
Didn't have any of that.
So what's going on in the market right now? What have you guys seen since the interest rates dropped last week?
I've seen a pickup.
Nothing.
I've seen a pickup. So I have one of my development properties, Grand Street. I didn't have any showings for 2 weeks. Then I had a couple of different showings, got an accepted offer 2 days ago. I don't know.
So you've seen some increased activity.
I felt the pickup.
You've seen nothing.
I've seen
nothing. I've seen a little bit of increased activity myself.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say nothing, because the last interest rate announcement, I didn't really feel anything happened.
It's 0.25.
To be clear, I don't think that it's the interest rate that's doing it. I think it's the season. I think people, hey, I want to get my market on before the snow comes or before the winter goes,
or
I just want to buy.
Christmas.
So and I think it's a short window. I don't think this is a pickup to a ball rolling.
It's not because of the interest rate.
It's not because of the
interest
rate. I think because of the season, people are like, hey, let's do this now because of the next time to buy. People,
if they didn't lower interest rates the last 3 times or 4 times,
there'd be nothing happening.
And then there'd be nothing happening. But if all of a sudden they were like, hey, we've lowered 1% over the last little while, if they did nothing, and then today they said we just dropped 1%, I think that would help. But these little increments, people don't feel the effect of these little increments.
They do add up, because now the policy rate is at 2.25.
They do, but
the
mentality is like, well, it hasn't really changed. But if it went from 3.5 to 2.5 overnight, they'd be like, oh wow, I'm saving this much money now.
I totally agree.
I'll go do it. But it's these little, it's a $200, $200.
Well, and I believe they're doing that on purpose because they don't want to turn the gas light on, right? Okay, everybody, get back into real estate. Go, let's do it.
I don't think the gas light can turn on because the economy is doing so poor, right? But the interest rates have dropped. They were 5% in April 2024. So now they're at 2.25.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference. So, the small increments that you talk about, they might not see it, but it is a big difference. And we've had better markets between 2024 and I guess let's just say February 2025, right? We've had a better market, right? Not a great market, but a better market, right? So, my thought is that, the economy is a big reason why we're not seeing more buyers.
Because interest rates can drop, but it doesn't put money in people's pockets.
That's true. Right? Yeah. And then we've also got the uncertainty with the tariffs, right? That's affecting our economy, right? So I think those two things need to get sorted out before the tables turn again. Are we going to see what we saw in 2021? Absolutely not. But maybe we might see it enough where things start to level off and things become civilized again.
Yeah.
And, townhouses start to move and condos start to move. But the problem is we have all this inventory. I think, as we head into the holiday season, I think that, and I'm sure you guys can agree with this, the amount of inventory that's coming between now and Christmas is going to be less and less and less because people don't want to sell.
No, you don't want to list a week, 2 weeks before Christmas.
Exactly.
Right?
And buyers are who have to buy or want to buy or feel like it is a good time to buy. They're kind of running out of options at this point.
Yeah. It
right?
Like slow down.
I've got listings in neighborhoods with hundreds of homes for sale, and we had multiple we've had 3 offers in the last week. Now nothing's come together because they've all been so low, right? But we've got showings and we've had more activity in the last week than we have in the last 3 months.
This is exactly crazy. What I'm saying. Right? The last week I felt.
I think it's just that trying to get stuff done before.
For sure.
And then Christmas comes in and you're like, and now I got to spend all this money on Christmas.
But it's funny because I know enough to know that this isn't the market's not necessarily changing because we have all these outside influences that are going to dictate whether the market goes up or not, and there's I just don't think it's possible. For my seller's sake and for everyone's sake, I hope it levels off. Buyers can still get really good deals, and sellers still have a good opportunity to move too, as long 100%. As there's a buyer for your house.
Yeah,
right.
Going back to your point about inventory, as realtors, we talk about MOI, months of inventory, right? So it's just so people understand the amount of inventory out there. When we're saying there's lots of inventory, we're not saying more than usual. There's I've never seen this much inventory. This is historically the most amount.
You drive around, look how many for sale signs you see.
But isn't there 7 or 8 months of inventory or something right now most places?
I haven't done the math. I used to do the math all the time, but it's we're in a it's probably 8.
I think it's about 8 months of
maybe even 10.
That's what I'm trying to
say.
I know
property types, right? For condos, for sure. There's 10 months for sure, right? Single family, they always kind of move, right? But it depends. It depends what you got. Depends what micro market you're in. So if you're in a micro market where there's nothing moving, and I'm in a micro market where for whatever reason there's some buyers, right? And people can get lucky too.
Pockets.
People can get lucky. You can list your house and there could be one buyer. I've had that so many times this year where it's we list. And we get one call, they come in, they put in an offer, they're not subject to sale, and then a week and a half later it sells. Well, we didn't get another call.
One call.
That was that one person that you lucked out.
Yeah, and it's that one person. Yeah. So there's a lot of luck involved, right?
So I have the best buyer possible. If you're a selling agent, you want me. So my buyer, his girl is pregnant, and they want to move before the baby comes out. So the baby's coming out in March. So he wants to be out by January, February. They're cash, $1.8 million cash. Right? So cash, and they have to be out. That's the kind of buyer that you want. They're going in there. So when we go look at, they're going to buy a place, it'll take them 2 weeks and bam. And they want to go subject free. We don't need an inspection. We don't want to do financing. We don't do that. So imagine getting a subject free $1.8 million offer. That's who you want, right? What I want to talk about too is Russ, where do you guys, if the market picks up or slows down, where do you see, or if you do or not, where do you guys see it change first? Where usually changes first, if you know what I mean?
I feel like the small stuff starts to move first. I feel like everything's gridlocked and stuck. Yeah. And in order for
somebody in an apartment needs to move so that a townhouse can move, so a house can move.
Exactly.
Right?
I love that. I love that.
I feel like it starts in the condos and then kind of works up from there. Yes. But more importantly, I think for Metro Vancouver, where you see it start the first is in Vancouver, and then it starts to trickle out.
So you mean that condo sales in Vancouver is where it'll start first, or what do you mean?
Just the market in general. Like it'll pick up and people, you'll be talking to your realtor buddies in Vancouver and they're like, we're getting multiple offers in this.
Oh,
and that.
that's
and
happening.
And then you're like, it's dead.
And then it's
right.
doing this.
And then the same thing was when the market changes. I remember talking to a realtor in Chilliwack and they're like, the market is on fire out here. Not for long. Oh, I can't see it stopping.
Yeah.
We're going to see it stop.
Oh, because it was slow here.
Or some realtor in Campbell River and like, oh no, everyone's moving out here. They're relocating. You just wait.
Just wait. It's coming.
It is though. It is.
It's a wave though.
100% is the one person starts the fire for everybody.
Yeah.
One person accepts their offer on their condo, maybe lower than they want. That gives them the ability to go buy a townhouse. That person that finally sells their townhouse is like, great, now I can buy that house. And the person that sells their house is like, great, I can go downsize and buy a townhouse. And then the fucking cycle starts all over again.
The cycle starts. The problem is there's just so much inventory out there.
So
it's really, really, really hard to get all of that inventory moving.
Yeah.
And just more and more and more coming. Like, like with your townhouse, I'm sure you're just sitting there and just like, there's like 10 new listings
every
this
Monday.
Week, and there's one, if that.
Zero sales.
Right?
I know.
Same thing.
From the time we listed till now, there's something like 45 new townhouse listings in our area.
Yeah.
And I don't think one. I honestly don't think one has.
I think something really important is like it's very similar to my detached home in North Delta, right? It was 10 listings, 0 sales, right? Or the odd sale, undercut, boom, low ball. Driving down the market. I think the important thing is to make sure your sellers are always ready, price sharp. Because now we are moving into the holidays. In that little pocket that we're in, it's all gone. So we're the only option left. Right. So maybe that's why we're getting more offers. Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's, we've had 10 offers on that thing.
But nothing you want to.
You've had 10 offers
nothing you
on your
accepted?
place.
Yeah. We
nothing accepted. Just all low balls.
We've been so close a couple times and the buyers are just like,
no.
See ya.
Yeah.
Like I've had 2 offers on that place, like ready to go. We've agreed to everything and the buyers are like, no. And they just
change their mind.
They just change their mind.
How many listings are
they have
like
options?
2 or 3 right now? Because I see the signs open at your townhouse. Is it you have 3 active or in the
townhouse? What
in your complex?
In your complex.
Oh, there's nothing active in there.
Nothing active.
No, not in my complex.
Take those for sale signs down then.
I got a question. Whether you want to tell us your personal information or not, you haven't accepted. You bought the house already?
Yeah.
So you remove subjects.
There were no subjects.
You just went in and you were like, I want this house?
No, there were there. So I'll tell you the story. It's an interesting story.
It's interesting because it's yourself too.
It is. Yeah. So we should actually talk about it, right? Like, because I got goosebumps talking about it, and I was in the buyer's shoes, right? So for the first time in my career, I'm in the buyer's shoes, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a custom house.
Concrete roof. There was 5 builders in Citadel Heights, and one of them, and a couple good ones, and a few not so good ones.
Yeah.
But this guy was really, really good. German builder, I found out. I was like, so anyways, we walk in and it checked enough boxes where I'm like, okay, So I get the broker involved. So I phoned the agent the next day and I'm like, oh, hey, we're going to put in an offer. And she's like, oh, there's so much interest. And I'm like, she's like, I'm going to talk to the sellers because they might want to wait. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, there's no other interest. I'm watching.
You might have had a showing.
I'm watching. Yeah, there was a showing right after us. I'm watching the listing like a hawk, right? I'm thinking, okay, let's just do all my due diligence and then I'll wait on Tuesday and submit an offer.
Did you get buyer's glasses on? Like you're like, fuck, I don't want to lose this one.
Yeah, so we'll get to that, okay. Right? So I'm like, it's not like, there was some variables to the house. Like if I couldn't do this, I didn't want it, right? So it had to get the architect involved and all that kind of stuff, right? But so Tuesday comes and I'm like, okay, I'm going to submit my offer first.
Sorry, were they holding offers until Tuesday?
Yes, they were.
Oh, wow.
They waited. Wow. So she talked to the seller, right?
And then they did a DRPO after they had listed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I knew there was a couple showings after that and then dead. A couple open houses on the weekend.
Did you creep by?
Huh?
Did you creep by?
Of course. Hey. Of course he did.
Of course he did.
Or did you
Sunglasses
send,
across the street.
Somebody Kirsten's parents.
I knew how much traffic there was there, right? Put it that way. So, or I thought I did. right? So on Monday, I'm like, I got to get a contractor, and I'm at the same time I got a contractor, and I got someone to come in and do a quick home inspection, right? I just wanted to make my offer look strong, right? So I write up my offer. I'm like, okay, well, I'll write it up, and sure enough, we submit it. I'm thinking I'm going to submit it first, be the first one in the door. And then that's it. I'm like,
because other people would be like, oh, we already got an offer. Oh, I don't want to compete.
I don't want to compete. Yeah, so I submit it. Oh, there's already an offer in hand.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're like, somebody wants it better than more than me.
And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, and there could be 2 more coming in. Oh, and somebody else is doing a home inspection right now. So now all of a sudden I'm just like,
what the? Yes.
Like,
that sucks.
The palms start sweating, and like I'm just like, really? I'm like, oh no.
And that's funny because you're a realtor, and you're like, I'm gonna go on my ducks crossed.
Like I got
plan. I got this. I'm gonna do it. And now you're like,
so like I really had to. I'm like, okay, how bad do I want this house? What am I going to do? Like I knew I could go in subject free if I had to, right? So of course I'm like, okay, I'm going to revise my offer, right? So
before, okay, so you revised.
So I waited till the last minute. There was 4 offers in hand. I revised mine. I came in with a strong offer.
Change your price or just take stuff out?
Oh yeah, no, I changed my price. Yeah. So we went in over asking, but. We got it. So, but I had to sit back. I really had to like, okay, what advice would I give my buyer right now?
Yeah.
And I really had to sit back, and I'm like, okay, like, I think this number is going to get it, but like,
that's always sketchy too. Because you're just throwing money.
Would I be okay losing it if I gave that number? So I was like, no, I'm going to give 10 grand more.
So you're a skilled realtor, and you bought a home for your family, and you paid over asking. I think that's interesting because a lot of people think the market's dead right now. Hey, I'm going to get a great deal. I'm going to put the low ball offer in.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it a mix of a really good home having high demand, or was it priced low?
So no, it was priced fair.
So that's what I'm trying to say. I find that very interesting.
It was priced fair, but it's a good home. It's a rare home on a rare street.
Yeah.
They don't come up often with a really, really good floor plan. With a good view, like there's a lot of good things.
That's my exact plan. That's my exact point. So if people out there are like, "Hey, I'm going to wait for a good deal. I'm waiting for the market down. The market's crashing, prices are falling." If you're looking for a good home for your family in a good area, it's hard to find that.
The good stuff always goes fast. It doesn't matter what the market is.
Yeah.
And this just shows you. I don't multiple offers in arguably one of the slowest markets since 08 or and
priced right.
Priced right, and I got into multiple offers, and it was for myself. But we ended up getting it, so we're super pumped, and now we're gonna do a massive reno on it.
So have you listed your townhouse yet? Then
no,
not yet. But
townhouse.
Did you get a longer completion so that you could have time to list your place, or are you feeling pressure?
No, we're gonna rent. We're gonna live in our place while we renovate it.
Oh,
because we're just taking it right down.
Yeah,
right.
Awesome.
So we're gonna and then hopefully the market rebounds.
Yeah,
and then we sell
perfect timing.
And then we sell the townhouse. Then we pay off the construction loan.
Yeah,
and then put the rest towards the house.
I love that plan. I love that plan.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Moving into a house that you want to be in that area. You've been waiting. You look at every house for sale in Citadel Heights, guaranteed every morning.
Yeah,
right.
I'm the we're the pickiest buyers imaginable, right?
Yeah.
So
I know my wife always sends me lists, and I'm like, nope. I got 4 houses in Pitt Meadows that I'll buy.
Yeah,
they're not for sale.
Yeah,
I know I have searches saved. I know exact whenever that house pops up, I'm buying it.
Yeah,
no matter I will be the first person in the door, first person to write an offer. I don't care how much it is.
Yeah.
I'm buying it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I'll say that I paid market value for the property.
Yeah. Well, you competed for it, so that's market value.
So like I could only imagine how awful it would have been if it was a bull market, right?
Yeah,
a crazy
15 offers, 250.
Like then it would have gone ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
so I'm happy in that sense, but. But yeah, no, it was quite the experience.
I'm pretty stoked for you. It's gonna be sweet, and getting to renovate while you're not living there, getting so many choices, and like setting it up.
Yeah.
So you'll never move again.
We're never moving again.
So cool.
So going back to when I bought my townhouse, I was 26 years old. I'm buying this 2,200 square foot townhouse, right? I'm just some young punk, right? And I'm like, what am I?
What'd you buy your townhouse for?
$455.
Nice.
But when I bought it, I overpaid, right? I wasn't represented. I was like, I just want to buy it, like just signing papers. I had no idea.
Representation was bought from the realtor?
So like I sat for 2 years that like, if I sold it, I would
lose money,
lose a little bit. It was always like 20 grand, but like, today 20 grand isn't like what it was back then. No. But like the point is like I didn't have to move again. Right, so like I didn't move until we're moving now. We're not moving again, so I don't mind. And when we got that house, like the load that came off my shoulders,
that was awesome.
It was just a load off my shoulders because we're like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna move to Central Coquitlam. We're gonna buy a lot. We're gonna build. We're gonna do this, right? So now it's like, okay, now I have a game. Now like because I'm super organized. So now like my whole life is just like, okay,
where you're going.
We know exactly where we're going. I got my forever home. We're gonna reno it. We're gonna make it exactly how we want. We're gonna stay there forever. And now like we know like financially I can set up like finalize my plan.
Yeah. Because you're just waiting and you don't know what's happening.
You can't really finalize your plan when you don't know what's happening in the big step, right? You can't invest your money when you need access to that money potentially.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you don't know how much of that house you're gonna buy and how much is it gonna cost to renovate. It's like you can't really figure any of that out until you have the house, and now you can start budgeting and figuring all that stuff out.
It's quite exciting, but I feel like a big load came off my shoulders when we actually got it.
Yeah. Well, also happy wife, happy life, right?
Isn't it crazy when you buy your own place, like, and then you remove subjects, and you're like, holy crap. And then you realize, like, we do this every day.
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
When you're the person on the other end, you're the person signing the paper or putting down the money, it's such a big deal. And I think it's great that you buy your own place and you're in the middle of that, because maybe the next deal you do with somebody, you're like, man.
You understand the compassion of it.
Yeah, we understand already, but we do it every day. So we're not like invested thousands and thousands of dollars like this person is. So it's like you get a different appreciation for the feelings that or the emotions that they go through.
100%.
And it's a roller coaster, man. Because I bought my cabin and I was like, I'm buying it. I don't
I
care.
can totally get that feeling when you submitted the offer and you heard that there was already an offer in there.
Oh,
I had
that when I bought my cabin.
You're like,
it sat vacant for 6 months, and then I read an offer, and 3 days later, there's another offer.
Yeah.
But they're gonna let me go through it because I was the first person. They were being very nice.
Yeah.
Like I wrote a letter, all that kind of stuff. And they were invested in us buying it as a family because it was their family place. But then we needed to ask for an extension because financing wasn't working because I was buying it in a holdco and it was getting complicated and I needed another 2 weeks.
And they have other offers.
Those people wrote a backup offer, but they said they were going to give us first chance, and if we needed an extension, they were going to give it to us.
And that's because of the relationship that you built, though. That's because of the relationship.
It is so scary.
Totally.
It is so like I'm like I just want this place so bad, and I'll do anything. Like I'll figure it out. I'll make it work.
The realtor was like walking out the door. I could tell she was walking out the door when I submitted my offer. Like because I was like the first one was dead last. Right, I found out there was another offer.
How did you know it was that?
Because I crossed paths with one of the realtors, and I phoned him, and I knew he knew the Citadel Heights area really well, and because he's like an old legend kind of guy, right? And he's been a realtor for 50 years, and like he watched Citadel Heights get built, and he ended up. I called him because I wanted to know about the builder after I got it, and I was like, "Oh, did you write?" And he's like, "Yeah, my clients wrote full price, subject free." I'm like, "Did you do an inspection?" He's like, "No."
Wow! So it was the other person.
Yeah, so they were subject free too.
Wow.
Right? So that home at she was literally, I could tell, and then she called me back after looking at the offer because she's going to meet these people in person because they're old, right? And she's like, "Can you make this change? Can you make this change
before I get there?"
Can I? But before I print it. Yeah, because she had to print it. So I was like, "Okay, well that maybe I'm good." Right, and then but we still sat there for 4 hours. And
when you got the phone call and she phoned you, that's the worst. I'm like, fuck, this is either going to be, hey, really sorry, or hey, good news.
Yeah.
And like, how did she tell you? How did she tell you?
I always it was real quick. She just said, "Hey, Ollie, congratulations, you got the house."
Yeah. Were you on speakerphone with Kirsten or what? Or did you just take the call?
No, I was driving the kids to swimming lessons.
So you're on the car?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What a great
Kirsten,
moment.
we had just crossed paths with Kirsten, but
that's cool.
yeah, no, it was good.
That's
I was just it was awesome, man. It really was. So this is good. It can be definitely a nerve-wracking experience, but it's also very enjoyable.
Yeah, fulfilling at the end once it all works out.
Sometimes
like,
I'm like,
man,
hey, you know what, Russ? I really love everything you put in.
Do
you do it?
I do it too.
But you know what I'm saying right now? Yeah. Like if someone wins, I call him like, hey, Russ, you know what? There was 3 offers. I loved everything you did in there. You know, and it's unfortunate you guys, got the place.
I did that to one of my sellers a while ago. We were like, we were subject to sale. 2 offers fell apart. 3rd offer, like these guys are giving us extensions. They lowered their price so we could take a different offer. And the realtor's phoning me like last minute questions. I'm like, oh man. And she's like, hey, just wanted to let you know, good news. I'm like, awesome. And then I phone my client. I'm like, hey Maria. She's like, okay, so how did it go? I'm like, well, I got good news and bad news. She's like, I'm like, you want good news or bad news first? And she's like, give me the bad news. I'm like, bad news is you got to move out of your house because it's fucking sold.
Yeah.
And she started crying. She's like, why would you do that? I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad after, but it was awesome.
It's fun.
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Okay,
I gotta
that's
fly.
it.
All right,
that's it. Let's wrap it up. All right, boys, that was awesome.
That was
Good job, buddy. Hey, again, congratulations on the new home, buddy.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Super cool.
Thanks.
Love it.
Thanks everybody for watching. Catch you in the next one.
Okay.